Is it on? Guys, is it on?
I don't know. You're the one who set it up.
There's a green light.
No, I think that means it's off.
Oh.
Oh. Wait. Oh, hi. Welcome to TPCast episode 81. It's been a while, guys.
A whole year, right?
It's remarkable. I totally didn't plan it this way, but it's a year to the day.
Seriously?
Our last podcast was on June 20th, 2014.
And was it a live TPcast?
Yeah, it was. So this episode is live for those who are tuning in later.
Or live. It's live.
Yeah, so let's introduce ourselves since it's been so long. I'm Lane.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Kevin.
One of the reasons we haven't done it in so long is that whenever we do have time to spare, we are using it to make videos.
Well, we're using it to try to get Lane to make videos, and he's using it to go, I have to edit.
Well, because I have all the other videos to do. So it's funny how that works out. It's sort of like a conundrum. You're always working. I'm always working on like videos, and then there's like more behind me that are sneaking up that I have to like take care of. Anyway, so there's been so much that's gone on since our last podcast, so there's no hope that we could possibly touch on everything that we've missed. So much has changed. So much has gone on.
We've done a lot of movies. We have to talk about the the cards one.
Oh yeah, definitely. So let's jump in with some of the most recent news. E3 just happened, so
Wait, it did? I totally missed it.
yeah, I can't believe that that's possible. But for those of you who may have missed it, welcome back from under your rock. There's so much that's gone on. Halo 5, that's the big one.
I'm
This
so
time
excited
around.
for Halo 5.
It's not the big one for me. The big one is Fallout 4, but we'll get to that.
I think Warzone looks so cool. I'm so excited to dive into that.
Warzone is like everything you could ever want.
It's like a mix of like
Like,
Infection.
It could be the entire game.
Slayer.
Like how Titanfall is one thing. Halo 5 could just be Warzone, and that would pretty much be enough.
The one impression I got from Warzone is like it's, taking elements from Titanfall and mixing it with Halo.
Did you see IGN put up a full 15-minute video of an entire match?
I've
It's
seen
super fun.
entire matches, probably not that one. But yeah, there's just chaos and stuff. And the rec packs, that's sort of a little bit of a controversy in terms of, I think they announced that you can buy rec packs with like real money. Any opinions on that?
I will not be doing that.
Microtransactions.
Yes.
The dollar sign.
Yes, I take it you won't be doing that.
You will?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Lynn's going for the Mambo edition of the game, right?
Oh,
Because he got so much.
Speaking of which, I gotta show this off right here.
Because it's such a waste of money.
The story goes that Lane didn't get that when it came out.
Oh
and
yeah,
was so mad at himself that he had to.
He would never let
never-
himself
yeah.
pass up the biggest edition of a game,
okay.
even if it's a total waste of money, like this one.
No, okay. Let me backtrack. Okay, it's
Backtrack
2007.
like Bungie wants you to.
2007. I'm getting into Halo
You got dust all
big
over
time. Yeah.
Because it never sees the light of
it. Tried to
day.
dust in my face.
So 2007. I'm just getting into Halo. Legitimately. I got a 360 and stuff, but I bought the standard edition of the game. Later, when a Halo fandom was absolutely cemented, I looked at that Master Chief helmet that came with the Legendary Edition of Halo 3, and I regretted not getting it. So I went back and retroactively got it on eBay. So because of that, I'm like, ooh, I don't want to miss out on like a cool legendary thing again. So
Which is what he totally regrets not having that ODST controller.
that's different. That's hardly a limited edition type thing.
Oh.
So anyway,
Real quick,
okay.
it has to do with what you're talking about. I'll bring it up later. Never mind.
All right, thanks for that interruption. So, bought the Reach
Don't let me
Legendary
forget.
Edition, bought the Halo 4 Limited Edition, the highest you can go. So, Bungie's new game, Destiny, is coming out. Played the beta, thought it was good. So, these Legendary Editions of the game were going super fast. The Ghost Editions. So, I went to GameStop. And at first, the guy thought they were out, but then he checked and saw, it's still showing up in here. I can put one down for you. So I was able to get it. However, there wasn't a whole lot in the package in terms of
It didn't
value. I think
substance.
Yeah,
To value ratio.
to be fair, they announced what was in it, and I knew what I was getting. But I think that combined with Destiny's lackluster story elements really sort of made me regret my purchase of the big edition. I guess when you compare...
So the irony is that he regretted not getting that and then regrets getting that.
So what do you do now?
Well, yeah, there is a big difference between the size of this and the size of that. And while this... I got to show it. This lights up and it makes sounds.
Lane only wants things if they're big. Because it's so small. He regrets
Well, I mean, you're getting your money's worth with the helmet and then the Noble Team statue. Those are both substantial and they're like big display
All right,
pieces.
let's get down to it. Halo 5. Are you doing it?
Okay.
That means no.
I don't believe I am. Because they announced it. Okay, great. Legendary Edition is coming out. By the way, right after the whole Master Chief Collection mishap, before it was fixed, they announced it at $250. And they didn't even show what was going to be in it. They just said it's, I think like a statue of some sort. So I definitely wanted to hold off. And then this past E3, they released the statue. And I gotta say, I was underwhelmed. With the Reach statue, it comes with all of Noble Team. It's sized, pretty nicely, and there's, some good detail in there.
Would you be disappointed if I grabbed it?
No, you could do it. Just
Show him.
yeah. I mean, I recently dusted, so that's good. Yeah. So I mean, look at this. So you're getting.
And how much was
I
this?
grabbed this too.
I'll hold off on that. That's more valuable.
How much?
So-
$100.
So these are both the same. The Reach and the
really?
Destiny were both the same. Now, fast forward to Halo 5. And it has a statue again. There's only two characters. It's Master Chief and Locke. And I felt like from the pictures they showed, the details didn't seem much more detailed than the Reach statue. And it's a whole lot more money. And second of all, the pose that they have them in, and granted, they say you could take apart the Halo 5 statue and rearrange it so they're facing off, but the pose seems a little lackluster. It doesn't seem like really especially compelling.
Now, here's my prediction for what's going to happen. You're going to get the next lowest one, and then when you go to the midnight release, you're going to see people walking out with the big one and be like, I regret this.
And when you open up the medium, whatever it's called, you're going to be like, wow, this is a total waste of money. Which is why I never get big editions.
We got the Gears of War.
Good to know, but I will be getting the limited edition. That's my compromise.
And what is in that? Since
Well,
Papers,
no,
dossiers.
Kevin, you get a disc, and that's a big deal because the Legendary Edition of Halo 5 comes with a code, not a disc. Now, I'd say the major draw, I like having discs, although, granted, a lot of that has to do with having a little case to display
codes
on a
take up more
shelf.
space, don't they? The digital editions of games, they're more space on the hard drive, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't see why they would be, because you're just putting everything onto the hard drive anyway. But anyway, I think I'm going to go with the limited edition this time. Hopefully, I don't regret that decision, because I like having stuff on display, but I can't justify that. Kevin, you can put this back if you want.
If it were the same price as that.
Did you have to put this together?
Yes, you had to put it together. The figures came off and you had to stick them on.
Would you go for it if it was exactly the same in every way, but it also came with a poster that you could add to your poster collection?
Probably not.
But Lane, a poster.
But that's...
Lane got a new poster.
What if it came with a shirt that said, I have Halo 5? I got new shoes yesterday that I saw them on the display and I was like, that reminds me of Halo, doesn't it?
Yeah, too bad. Yeah, you can kind of see it on the video, but...
I'm not a contortionist, so you can't see them, sorry.
Yeah, okay, so back to Warzone. So,
sidetracked.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've always been a fan of Big Team Battle. Ever
It's always
since
been sort of like my second thing. I like the Team Slayer, the 4v4, and I love Griffball. I hope they bring Griffball back, but I don't see how it could possibly work with all the Halo 5 stuff. But I like Big Team too, so I'm looking forward to Warzone.
Kevin, I assume you're the same.
I'm so excited. Warzone, as long as there's like a consistent population and it doesn't take forever to get a match. Not like Halo Master Chief Collection, which I don't even play because that's such a broken game.
It's so ironic because
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Because it's gotten a lot better, and shouts out. I play with the people at Podtacular. They're a great group of people to play Halo with, and they have a great podcast. So whenever I play them, we run into issues, but we can find games and stuff. However, when I play with you, we've had the hardest time.
Excuse me, it's my fault. It just doesn't work for me. I checked recently because Xbox, when you're looking at friends or whatever, comparing your games, it shows you how many hours you've played compared. You've played that game, last time I checked, it was like 380-something hours, Master Chief Collection. For us combined, it was like 80-something.
Now, here's the thing that might skew it. I play video games in like bursts now, like hour bursts. So what often happens is if I'm like playing a campaign level or something, I'll like pause it halfway through and then go do something else for a couple hours and then come back to it. So I'm not sure if that counts.
That's what you
while I'm still on the pause screen.
Your Skyrim hours were
I did the same
way
thing.
Inflated because you would just pause and go do something else. That was on 360.
Can we talk about Fallout 4 yet?
On Xbox One, you can
almost. So, we played the beta for Halo 5. That was back in January.
I loved that. It was so much fun.
Yeah. So you thought that all the additions and stuff were cool?
The additions,
as far as the
ADD editions. Yeah, the Halo 5 editions. I will be getting the standard. The additions to the gameplay.
It was one of those things where
I like them all.
I saw it beforehand. I was like, and then I played it and I was like, it needed this.
Yeah. And as far as we can tell, the matchmaking works.
It just worked in the beta,
right?
They said they had like a different team doing it than the Master Chief Collection, which thank
I
goodness,
understand.
Master Chief Collection team.
4 different games on one disc. Obviously, there's going to be some issues, but Halo 5 just worked. And if it's the same or better, which it probably will be better.
Yeah, I have to say I was in the same boat as you, Kyle. I was a little nervous
me too.
Seeing it beforehand, but after playing it, it's definitely solid. Except for doing the ground pound, I could never find a good opportunity to use that.
See, what happened with us is that Kyle and I, we played it with the Halo there was a going through the control schemes. There was one called Halo 4, which was basically the same as Halo 4. So we didn't have to, get used to the Call of Duty controls. But the only bad thing about it was I thought the B and the left bumper, if I remember, should have been switched. Left bumper was the one where you whatever it was, jetpack away, whatever. And B was ground pound. So when you're holding down B, you can't aim to do the ground pound. So we never used it except a couple times we were like, Kyle, hold down B for me. And he held it and I aimed. And that worked. And then just another time, I remember this is the first time I was able to get a ground pound kill. I held it down and I couldn't aim. I just held it down and I got a double kill somehow. So I recorded that for sure.
Now, with the new Elite controller, they got the paddles, and you can map that to B, so you don't have to take your thumb off, and that's gonna be major.
Kyle and I, we've decided we're gonna split the dough and get that.
Anyway,
controller.
what I wanted to interject and say was that with the new Elite controller, you can take off the D-pads, and what some people are saying, what would be really cool is if some special editions of games came with limited edition D-pads. There was made for that game. It would they said it could tell you what each button does on the D-pad that it would come with. Like up is switch weapons or something, and it could have designs on it, and it's exclusive, and that would come with a special edition.
That's a good idea.
What do you think of that?
I think that's an absolutely fabulous idea. Even if it's just different colors, because then you could switch out the different parts and have flare on your
really
controller.
like the bowl-shaped satellite one.
See, that controller is $150.
Worth it. I think it's worth it.
Kyle and I are gonna go for it.
Gonna go have these.
See, you think it's worth it? I don't think so. I take you think that legendary editions and stuff aren't worth it, and I've adopted that a little bit, but I can't spend $150 on a beefed up controller.
To be fair, there are two of us, and we can split the price.
that's
and
a lot more reasonable.
The things that I've thought about. I mean, with the paddles on the back, you never have to take your thumb off the stick.
Yeah, you can map A, B, X, and Y to them, and you never have to take your thumb off ever. As long as you memorize which paddles are which.
I will. So
no, but go ahead. You don't have to do it. We'll just always have a leg up on you, all the time.
So going to campaign, they showed off a little bit there, a little slice.
Yeah, Kevin and I are slightly nervous about that it might be the most backtracky game of all time.
Yeah, just imagine you play one level as Master Chief, then the next level is Locke going through the same exact area. That's what I'm afraid of. I hope they don't do that.
So sort of, in a way, sort of like ODST, where Locke would be like the rookie almost, sort of going back and trying to search for people. But I don't think that's going to happen too much. Although, Halo games have been known to make you backtrack.
Bungie in general. Bungie did it with Destiny too, and 343.
I don't recall backtracking that much at all in Halo 4.
That's true, but in Halo 5 it seems like it could be a real possibility, which is disappointing.
Now, in terms of the characters and this more squad-based system,
I think it's cool. It sort of reminds me of Mass Effect, how you can tell your squad mates what to do and who to shoot and what to pick up, or maybe not who to shoot, but you can tell them, hey, pick up that weapon.
A lot of people are comparing this to Republic Commando, which
I never played that. I
did play, and it was a great game. And before Disney bought the Star Wars license and the Lucasfilm properties, LucasArts wasn't doing a whole lot with Star Wars. And it seemed like
video game.
They came out with all these good games, and then they just came to a grinding halt for some reason and froze up and didn't know what to do. And Republic Commando was one of those great games that people really wanted a follow-up to, that they just for some reason didn't want to pursue another one. Or they might have been working on another one, but it got canceled for some reason. Anyways, This is sort of filling that gap. It's sort of taking that on a bit, which I like.
Did you hear Battlefront won IGN's Game of the Show over Fallout 4?
I did.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
We'll talk about that in a second because that's another game I'm looking forward to. Yeah, but what do you think of the new characters that are being introduced as far as I think it's Red Team, but Lux.
It's Fire
Lux
Team
3.
Osiris.
Thank you, Kevin.
Don't you know anything?
And Blue Team is the...
Yeah, it's Tanaka,
Vale.
Vale, and Buck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm such a nerd. I read all the books.
See, that's funny because it's really me that does that. But.
Yeah, I don't read the books, so I don't know this. See, here's what I'm confused about. In Halo 4, like, Master Chief, didn't he, like, come back and everyone's like, yay, and then now all of a sudden he's a traitor? What happened?
You really should listen to Hunt the Truth.
But what does 343 do about the people who don't do that and just play the games?
They'll probably explain it in the first cutscene. That's my guess.
It's been revealed that the beginning of Halo 5 doesn't start after Hunt the Truth. It starts before or sometime in the middle. So I don't think you're going to be left in the dark. Halo 4, lots of people complained that you had to read the novels to get it. So I think that they're going to address that and, take care of people who haven't. That being said, it's really worth a listen if you care to do so. So you're glad that Buck is back, I assume?
Sure.
Yeah. And then that he's a Spartan now.
That's pretty cool.
I'm happy that they're adding that in and bringing in Blue Team.
We finally get to see Linda and Fred and Kelly.
Now, how about Locke?
I like him. I feel like it's going to be a little bit weird that everybody loves the Master Chief. It's Master Chief versus Locke, and they're making you play as the bad guy. I just think that's a little weird, but it's going to be fun because you can have back with you.
He was cool in, what was that show?
Nightfall. So,
and it's the same guy. So
now, what did you think of Nightfall?
Yeah, stupid.
How would you rate it compared to Forward Unto Dawn?
I don't really remember Forward Unto Dawn, but it was better. I can tell you that.
I think Forward Unto Dawn was better.
No.
Oh, you're the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay, I have the other opinion. I think Forward Unto Dawn was better, and that Nightfall was worse. What's interesting, from my point of view, Nightfall was just a lot of walking and talking, and then they went, "Oh, shoot some people." Okay, now more walking and talking. I don't know. I think
you just described The Walking Dead.
What a terrible show.
Well, now there's going to be another one, but we'll get to that later. So, so a lot of that, I felt like it could have been a whole lot better if they just cut half, and therefore condensing all of the good stuff and sort of eliminating.
If it were faster moving, it would be better.
I think, So, I think reduce the size of it, it would have been great. But as a consequence, people's reception of Locke has been, I think, a bit lukewarm. And sort of, I'd be in that camp as well.
I'm sure they'll make him cool.
The actor was really good, though. He was able to take terrible writing and make it not sound that bad, which is really hard to do as an actor.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Any more for Halo?
I'm ready to move on to the game of the year. The game.
Okay, Kevin, this is your wheelhouse. Take over.
All right. So Fallout 4. Everyone has been waiting for years and years and years. And years. God, it took forever. And then finally, they put up a little countdown. Please stand by. for 24 hours, right? It wasn't like a week. It was Bethesda is so quick with this. I love it. And then they release a trailer. And then they have their big thing where they show off the game. And they tell you it's coming out in November. We don't have to wait like a year. You know, they don't announce it way ahead of time. So you just, it's just quick. I love that. Even though we had to wait forever for them to announce it. We always knew it was coming. And I think that's so great. Now, this game looks amazing. When the trailer came out, people were like, all right, the graphics don't look very good. And I agree. But if you only buy a game because the graphics, then you need to stop playing games because that's not the most important thing. Plus, they've shown off the game now, and it looks great. And the gameplay, the stuff that they've added, like you can now build your own settlement and build a bunch of them, and you can like upgrade your armor, upgrade your weapons way more than you could before. Or I don't even think you could upgrade them before. Could you? You could repair them.
I don't know.
And you could craft them, but now you can upgrade them. You can, everything that you can pick up now has a purpose because you can use it to upgrade your weapons and I guess your armor and build your house, I guess. And now there's a voiced protagonist, which people aren't so sure about. I think it's whatever. I mean, they know what they're doing, I'm sure. They wouldn't do it if it was going to be stupid. I think it's going to end up slowing down the game a little bit, but I'm still excited for it. And in their previous games, in Oblivion and Fallout 3, the way talking worked is you walked out to someone, you pressed A or whatever, and the camera zoomed in and you were stuck in there and you had your options to choose from. And then with Skyrim, they made it a little bit better. You didn't zoom anymore, but you were still in speaking mode. You could kind of look around a little bit, but it was slow and you couldn't move around. And now there is no talking mode. They say you can even have two conversations at once. Answer this person, turn, answer this person, walk away at any time. There's no, you're not in a set speaking mode. And they're going, this is what I'm kind of afraid about. They're going the Mass Effect route where it pops up small answers and you pick one and it says a whole longer version of it. And the reason I'm afraid for that is because what if that little representation isn't exactly what he's going to say? So I'm afraid it's going to end up saying something that I thought it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it's going to not ruin my game, but ruin the interaction that I was having. That's what I'm afraid of. But what's really cool is that they've recorded, he said, Todd Howard, said that they've recorded like 1,000 of the most popular names. So I can write in my name Kevin, and people will say Kevin to me. Or at least that one Mr. Handy Cogsworth guy will say my name.
I'm out of luck on that.
That is so cool.
Well,
You never know.
Maybe there will be Lance.
Maybe it'll be Lane. But I'm sure Kevin is in there. And that's
a guarantee, practically.
And the character facial customization is so much more detailed now in everyone else's faces. It's going to be so good. I can't wait. But the only bad thing is it comes out exactly 2 weeks after Halo 5. So I'm only going to have 2 weeks with Halo 5 before I quit. And I'm sure there'll be days where I'm playing Fallout 4 and then I'll have already played it for a couple hours that day and I'll be like, I'm bored. I already played Fallout. I'll put in Halo, whatever. I'm sure there'll be nights when I'll play Halo. But I will be playing Fallout so much. I'm going to have to take 2 days off work and play. And I'm sad that you're not getting it. You would love it. You loved Skyrim.
I know. Maybe I feel like with Skyrim, I feel like that was a big sort of introduction to people who normally didn't play that sort of game. And it was very huge. So I'm wondering if this might be the same thing where this is going to introduce people who normally wouldn't play this game.
See, what I did was the first Bethesda game I played was Fallout 3. And it blew me away. I was in love with it. So I went back and played Oblivion. And then I went back and played Morrowind. And then I played Skyrim. And Or no, I played Morrowind, I think, and then it was Fallout New Vegas, which Bethesda didn't make, but they published. And then I played, Skyrim, and then now I'm playing Elder Scrolls Online. I will play all their games. I love their game style so much. It's perfect.
Now, here's a question. When you build your character, are you going to try and model the character's face off of your face?
I don't normally do that. I might.
Because I know...
I'm sure it's very difficult.
Because I know I'm sure with Fallout 3, you can really get too close.
No, the character customization in Fallout 3 wasn't very good. The only thing I remember was, I'm pretty sure I had a red mohawk.
He did.
All right, now, the big question, are you getting the Pip-Boy?
Nope, I don't get special editions of games.
He'll get the app, though.
I'll probably try the app.
Speaking of apps, did you get the Fallout iPhone game?
I do not have enough room on my phone for it.
Ooh.
So no. But I probably would have tried it out.
I haven't tried it out.
I probably might. If I get a new phone, I'll get more space.
You can never have, this goes for hard drive space in general, never have enough space.
Yeah. I think the next phone I get, I'll get bigger space, more space.
How many external hard drives do you have, Lan, for your computer?
Yeah, well, I have 5.
There you go.
Yeah, so, and they incrementally get smaller in size but bigger in storage.
That's how the world works.
Exactly.
Now these days, which is cool.
Okay, now it's my turn, Kevin. Battlefront, the new Star Wars Battlefront is coming out.
I don't know anything about this.
Now,
except that the snow looks really
But
good.
here's what I'm confused about. Isn't there already a game called Star Wars Battlefront?
yes, that was the first Battlefront game. I think this is sort of just like I don't know if you'd call it a reboot, because I mean there's not continuity really, but it's like a relaunch. And this is another one of the games that was sort of victim to the weird LucasArts thing, because the last legitimate Battlefront came out in 2005, and it was on the original Xbox. And I remember after that they would announce a new Battlefront game. Oh, Battlefront, I forget what it was, like a Rebel Alliance fight or whatever, and it would be on a mobile game, like a mobile platform, like the PSP, something like that, and it was a complete cop-out. And for a time, I know the Battlefront series was the best-selling Star Wars game line, and so it was super weird that they even tried to get another one in and then just dropped it. So I'm glad that someone is actually coming in and finally we're getting a new console version of Battlefront. And it looks great. It looks gorgeous.
Can I say quickly that if you get Fallout 4 for Xbox One, you get a free copy of Fallout 3. And they're going to allow PC mods on the Xbox One, so you've never done before, which is crazy. And it's not going to ruin your game. When you load up your game, you'll have the option to choose between your game or your modded game.
I think that's really cool. I think.
And companions can't die. That dog is going to live forever.
I'm super happy about that, because as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh no, they're going to use this. They're totally going to puppeteer you with your own heartstrings. So yeah, so I'm going to be getting Battlefront, and
I wouldn't mind maybe
probably
borrowing it from you if it seems okay.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing I thought was pretty cool was to see hear all those classic Star Wars sounds, the TIE Fighter, and see them, and it's all like in a video game world. That was
Battlefront the game that we would play with you with like there was the Gungan map, and we would always like
Yeah.
jump off stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't flip off.
But wasn't
stuff.
that-
We jump off?
Was that
stuff.
third person?
Fun times. That was third person. So in this game, you have the play or first person.
You're talking Fallout 4. By the way, I remember when we would play that game. Was that Battlefront 2?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, that was the first time when you loaded up Xbox Live, and there were other people running around, and you said these are real people, and that blew my mind that we were playing a video game in our own house or your house with other people in the world. That blew my mind. And now there's HoloLens and Oculus Rift, and we're living in the future.
Guys, we're in the future. Well,
We
no,
can
we're in the present.
stream live to you.
We're in yesterday's future.
There you go.
Speaking of complex thoughts and science fiction, Kyle, let's move on to your franchise of choice. Mass Effect.
Ah, yes.
So,
Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game of all time. It took many years, but something finally dethroned Halo Combat Evolved, and that was Mass Effect 2. And Mass Effect Andromeda, which they're calling it, is pretty cool. I'm glad it's not like Mass Effect Redemption or something that has nothing to do with the game. It seems like you're actually going to be exploring the Andromeda galaxy. We don't know much about the game yet. We will know more at the end of the year, probably like Kevin said at the VGAs. But I'm optimistic and excited. And that is how you keep it short and sweet. We can move on to the next thing now.
one last thing, Kyle. Johnny Cash, yes or no?
What do you mean?
Did you even watch the trailer?
Yeah, that was the song in there. Yes is the answer to your question. Was that Johnny Cash in the trailer? I don't know why you're asking me that.
Is it appropriate?
It was a fake out.
Has your Mass Effect been violated?
No, because they never really used real music before. It was all like music that they made for the game, or like, you could go to like a bar and they would have bar music or club music that they made. So that was kind of weird, but I don't see them doing that for the full game. I could be wrong.
I totally agree with Kyle what he said about the name Andromeda. I've always loved that word. I think it's so cool. And that it's not, redemption or retribution or something so stupid like that.
That wouldn't even make sense.
But it's something that totally makes sense. Like Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't even know what that means. I'm sure I know it has something to do with the game, but it's stupid.
All right. Not too far away from stupid. Let's talk about the new Destiny stuff.
I don't know anything about it. You go ahead. I will have 0 words to say.
Yeah. So as you know, let me remind you here. I have this guy as a reminder. I bought the Legendary Edition of Destiny, the Ghost Edition.
Not regret it.
No, Kyle, I've already admitted that I regret it. I'm just trying to make the best of a bad situation. Right here. Okay, so I have to get as much use out of this as possible. That's why I'm holding it right now. So I got the Ghost Edition. Came with the passes for the first 2 Destiny expansions. Mm-hmm. And while they made improvements, in my opinion, they're still not really filling my need for a Destiny story in here. Now, for the most recent edition, the House of Wolves, I played that. But way back for the first expansion that came out, you had to, grind and stuff to get armor. Eventually, I got to a point where I said, you know what? I'm not going to grind anymore. I'm just going to wait till the next expansion comes out so then I can just buy armor at this level. So I did that, and I stopped playing and waited till this next expansion, and I did that, and it was great, and I started to level up that armor and get the materials I needed to level up, but then comes this other announcement. I think it's the Taken King, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, it's coming out in September.
Are you excited?
No, I'm not.
Because it turns out Destiny.
Because I know if I spend a hard time leveling up my guy and spending so many hours. If I get this expansion, I'm just going to go in and get that same level of armor in just a short amount of time. Hence, wasting all that time I spent grinding to get my armor up. But the worst part of it is the pricing. And this, I'm not pleased. It's $40 for you to get this expansion if you've purchased the previous 2 expansions. If you haven't, what you need to do is you have to buy the, I forget what they're even calling it, the limited, I don't know what they're calling it, the Ultimate Edition. They're re-releasing it with all the DLC in it. So you'll have to get that. I'm assuming that's going to be $60.
That's going to kill Destiny.
So I'm sort of drawing a line in the sand, and at this point, I'm not going to get the next expansion.
If the game was $60 to begin with, it better be worth, like 60% of what came in Destiny, the original one. There better be a ton of stuff in there.
Yeah, and because I already feel like I got a little snookered with this. So 40 more bucks on Destiny? I don't think so. So I don't know. Maybe I'll wait till it's like put it on sale or something for half off, and maybe I'll get it then. But at this point, I'm not. Especially with Halo 5 and Battlefront around the corner.
Halo 5, all DLC free. That's what everyone should do. Everyone.
Bungie's probably looking at that going...
See, with Destiny, there was never any chance I was going to buy the Season Pass. Because it's a game that I've never beta. And, it's a totally new game. Why do you buy a Season Pass for something like that? Now, the only thing I would buy a Season Pass for is Fallout 4.
I keep yawning.
I feel like I get the impression this is after I just said how Destiny is squeezing me for money, but I feel like we've sort of reached a point where developers are starting to get that you can't charge people for everything, and that they're starting to give out some more freebies. I certainly got that impression from the Bethesda conference. It felt like they were very generous with handing out free stuff, and I, like that.
You should try Fallout 4. It's going to be good. It's going to even come with a free copy of Fallout 3, and all the mods will be free.
That's 2 games for the price of 1. I just
very observant.
I just did the math in my head.
Okay, is that all? Oh
yes.
No. Xbox updates. We can play 360 games on the Xbox One now.
That's right.
And they say, but that's an Xbox One game or Xbox.
They say you don't have to pay for the games that you already own. Now, I've traded away all my old games, so I don't know if if you still need. They say if you put it in a disc, it's gonna.
I think you still have to have the disc in.
See, that's what sucks. Because I would love to play Mirror's Edge again. Can't remember if I gave that one away or not.
However, if you've downloaded them, like say on the free with gold on the 360, I'm pretty sure those are going to be available for you to download since they're digital.
Yeah, they say digital games will automatically show up in your.
And the guys from Sony were like, "We don't know how they did that."
We tried. It must have been very hard. Yeah, we're not going to do it. It's too hard.
Now that sort of we're stuck in this E3 rut, but there's so much to talk about. I feel like Microsoft had more games in it that are immediate, that had release dates that are coming out, but they stuck with like the safe stuff, like established franchises.
Halo and Gears.
With the PlayStation, I feel like they're innovating more with their games and showing off new and interesting things, more so than Microsoft. However, their release dates are in sometime in 2016 or at unannounced times.
Now, then, you played Mirror's Edge.
I did.
Have you been following this Mirror's Edge Catalyst news? Is
Just
this not a sequel?
just a little bit. I think it's stupid that it's a quote reboot or
It's a
a
prequel.
redo. Oh, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
It's Fate's origin story.
So it's not a
Okay.
reboot.
But what I've heard is that there are 0 of the same writers from the first game over to the second game. But it's the same studio.
Okay. I at least like that they're not completely throwing out the first game's continuity, because that's what I thought they were doing.
But what they said is that there are no loading screens and no levels. It's an open world now.
That is
That's pretty cool.
going to be great.
Mirror's Edge was so cool. All right, we can move on now.
Okay, no, wait, well, one last thing.
Oh.
Xbox update that they're coming out.
Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention to that.
It's a new interface.
Yeah.
They have Cortana.
It's gonna look less like Windows, huh?
Yeah, I think you definitely don't see the Windows 8 thing going on, which is nice. But the one thing that they said is it's going to be faster, and that's the one thing I want from my 360 right now. Is that
Xbox One.
Xbox One is going to be. Damn it! I turned it on. The Kinect in action.
Would you like me to press it?
You might as well. Yeah, so I'm glad that that's happening, that's speeding up, because it's really laggy. Okay. Now I have to... No, I think it's got it. Okay. So, now, next on the agenda. Outside of E3, is there any news that... Oh, Star Wars. There's Star Wars stuff. We got... Since the last podcast, we got 2 trailers for Star Wars, and they both look great.
All right, moving on. I feel like everything that we could say said.
It's too far past.
Too far in the past? Okay.
But I'm excited.
You know what isn't too far in the past is some YouTube comments that people have left us, which are great.
You guys are great.
So let's go and go through and read some of these. This is from King Commando 32. Lane, I cannot believe this series is still in the go. I love it still to this day. By the way, the wiki page on Halo Machinima has not been edited in years.
My favorite kind of comments are the one that's like, I've been watching since the beginning, and it's still great. So you know my favorite kind of comment, people.
Mm-hmm. By the way,
We read them.
By the way, the more you know, Kyle, you created a wiki for Thomas Productions.
I probably did.
I'm pretty sure you did. But anyway, you can go there, and we have information on all
of our
episodes.
videos, like 2012 and before.
Yeah, however, I have made it a point to keep our list of videos completely still up, and also the Marlin the Elite page.
Do you still update the database on the website?
Yes, I do.
My favorite kind of comment, by the way, for Marlin episodes is when someone quotes a line, not necessarily that I recorded, but that I came up with.
Yeah, I like that too. When I remember it would always happen when we did Marlin in Halo 3, and people would comment a line that I came up with, and I'd be like, warms my heart to know that people think I'm funny.
Here's another comment from Psycho Penguin 2. Almost 100 eps. I love this series all the way through. Great work.
I've noticed, and I'm not disappointed by this, that a lot of the comments on episode 99 were people saying there was about to be 100 episodes, or, oh my gosh, we're real close. Because there are 100 episodes.
Episode 100, by the way, is in the can.
Yep. We made it, and
We might even talk about it later.
Enticing preview of what's to come. Meanwhile, King Commando 32 says, "Man, this series is so underrated nowadays, yet still growing." Thank you for your kind words. I mean, I don't mean to say so ourselves, we're kind of biased, but I mean, we think it's underrated.
share it with your friends.
I think the peak of it was like 2000.
Time Reach was about to come out.
Yeah, as far as getting views and stuff, we've still been getting lots of comments, and all of them have been, very positive.
And we're at 100 episodes now. That is so cool. Can you believe?
I remember, I think the original Red vs. Blue only got to 100 episodes. I could be wrong. That's what I think.
Speaking of Red versus Blue, Kyle, Red Sharky 27. A lot of these have numbers at the end. Red versus Blue has Caboose, and this has Marlin. I don't know how this doesn't have thousands of people. We don't either.
It only has 3 people.
No, I think they mean like views. Okay. Grunt Chaos 117 writes, "I want to sub again, but YouTube won't let me."
Aww.
So
I wish you could sub again too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you feel that way.
See, I might do one more if I can find another good one. There's lots here. I'm just trying to find like the cream of the crop. Oh, here's one from Jurassic Man. No numbers and a timely name. "This show is hilarious and awesome. It should have more viewers and subscribers." Thank you.
He's right.
Right on both counts.
So thank you all for your lovely comments.
We read them, and we do
We
appreciate
read them all.
We do. Let's see what's going on. Oh, we'd read email and voicemails and stuff.
Let me guess. We got none.
Well, emails have sort of, Kyle, let's face it, it's 2015. People don't send emails anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they do other things, like leave comments on our Facebook page,
That'd be
leave
cool.
comments on Twitter.
It'd be cool if they could text us.
That might be a little invasive, but you can message us on Facebook and Twitter. Those we will accept. So anyway,
what is the Twitter ad? At what?
At Thomas Pro Inc. We didn't
There you
have
go.
room for the full thing. Or
Thomas Proink. That's how you can tweet us.
Or Facebook.com/Thomas Productions. I don't even know if I should say the voicemail number. I don't even know if it's still active.
Forget it.
Move
on.
Move on.
Move on.
Okay.
Buried.
Bye phone number.
I hope you're not still paying for that.
No, it's free.
I know.
Yeah.
It probably would not be free if such a thing even existed anymore.
Okay,
Like
now
this.
we mentioned our Facebook page. Recently, a video got posted there. A little, I don't even want to. It's not a sneak peek, and
I
it's
would
not
call it a tickle.
That's a good way of putting it. It's not a sneak peek, and it's not a teaser.
Tease without the R.
Yeah, but I like your tickle thing. It's a little preview video of
What made me think of it, actually.
of the next Marlin episode. A little thing right there. It's a little Facebook exclusive.
Mhm.
It just had. You should just go check it out for yourself. But it had a date on it, and I can tell you, Facebook, our Facebook people who follow our page got a little exclusive video, but we're not going to leave the people who subscribe to us on YouTube out, because there is another one of those tickles. You thought the tickling was done with, but guess what? Here comes another feather, and you might want to watch out and brace for that tickle pretty soon. So Aside from that cryptic stuff, Marlin the Elite, the next episode 100.
Yep.
And it's a big one.
If I don't say so myself, I have seen the final version of it. And
Unless you edited some more.
No, I redid the whole thing after you left.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Do you need us to record some lines?
No, that's what this is for. We're gonna do it right now.
yeah, we when we were filming it, I was like, "This is gonna be good," and then we recorded it, and I watched the final version, and I was like, "This might be one of the best episodes of all time."
It's so funny. See, I remember I was trying to think, episode 100. It has to be special, but at the same time, it has to be something that we haven't done before. Because there are so many times when I've thought I've come up with something great. And I remember recently I was like, ooh, we should do a spoof of, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And then we were like, Kevin, you've done that.
Episode 14.
Oh,
The first
that's
fan
right, we did
episode.
it. So we've done everything. So I was trying to think, and I came up with something really good. And collectively, we decided that's good, but not good enough. Let's add to it. So
Kevin's idea wasn't a story.
no, it was a story.
I mean, it
It's just we
didn't
added
have
to
a
it.
beginning, middle, and end.
So it's been added. It's been expanded into a very. By the way, not tiny. This is what I'm doing. It's a very cohesive experience, and it's going to be very good. And it's special.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
So funny.
I'm trying to think of the right word. It doesn't forget everything that's happened before it. It's not a
another
clip show.
reboot.
It's not a clip show. It's not a reboot. But it's you can feel the presence of everything that happened before it.
Yeah. So
While telling a new story, as we always do.
I pretty much agree with what you've said. I think people who have been watching, especially for this episode, there's some good stuff in there.
Episode 100.
There's some good stuff in there for you to find if
you've been a long time fan, you'll be rewarded with this episode.
Yeah, but yet at the same time, I mean, we're hyping this up, and it's a good episode, but yet we want it to in terms of like scale and stuff, we want it to go with the rest of the series.
It's
not like, how long is it?
It can stand on its own.
Can you?
It's the typical length. I mean,
the typical length has gotten longer as we've.
I think it's
made more episodes.
I'm not gonna say.
I'm pretty sure it's like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a good length. And for everyone who's gonna say episode 100, you must be done. There is more to come. This is not the end.
Episode 100 is definitely a milestone, and yeah, I think
we have big plans for what's happening after.
Yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that. So anyway, yeah, that's going to be coming very soon. I think
is there a date?
If you saw the tickle, you saw the date.
Yeah, if you saw the tickle,
go to our Facebook page.
You've been notified of when to laugh. Okay.
Tickle.
But we do machinima. That's sort of been our longest, where our focus has been at mainly.
You're gonna say longest running. That's not true.
Well, I don't know.
We've had more machinima than anything else, I think. I mean, 100 episodes of Marlin, I don't think we've done.
Yeah, that's not even counting the little messages and stuff. And
Detective Awesome is catching up. We're almost at 100.
Although
we're almost 10% of the way there.
So anyway, yeah, we do like live action stuff too. So that's
you do?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought we were animated right now. But yeah. So since our last episode, we've come out with some live action stuff too. Should we start with the most recent and work our way back, or start with our more distant and work our way forwards?
Whatever.
Let's go backwards.
Okay, backwards in time. We're traveling backwards in time, everyone. I think it was about a month ago or something. We came out with a couple of videos about a hotel in
It's
Honolulu,
inspired
Hawaii.
by the real hotel.
Somebody who commented totally got it right. What happened was we were staying in this hotel, and the bathroom didn't have locks. It was like a barn door that you push open, and we were all kind of
We were freaked out by this.
it was kind of weird, and
What kind of bathroom doesn't have a lock?
and didn't have like a refrigerator.
There was no refrigerator.
And so what we did,
To be fair, the other things were kind of made up. They were blown out
but
proportions.
what we did was
We were not in Hawaii.
we made a video.
What, that was in Hawaii?
We made a video basically making fun of how bad our hotel room was.
But
It didn't have a Bible, did it?
I don't think it even had a Bible.
Not that I care.
well, there you go. So we came out with that.
We did the first video, and then we went out to dinner. And while we were out, we were like,
We
Wait
to
a
do
minute.
another one.
we came up with some more stuff. And we were like, we have to. do another one.
For those, I guess, if you're gonna go and watch it, don't listen to this because we're about to talk about it. But after the first one, Kevin, I interrupt you on the toilet.
I am the bravest one of all of us. You can see this throughout all our videos.
I'm not going to contest that at all.
I
can't
ran
get close.
on the beach with a mohawk and medieval armor and a cape
He was in LARPing gear and ran around on the beach.
in public. I am definitely.
And my favorite, that's one of my favorite production stories of all time is Kevin did that. Some guy was like, yeah, you go, man.
So you were on the toilet, and then we thought, okay, we're done. We filmed this and stuff, and then you had this idea that convinced all of us that we have to do another one.
I did.
I'm pretty sure it was you.
I think I did, but I don't remember the idea. What was it?
So it was the idea of we start another one, and I come back and I walk by, and you're still you're still
Okay.
there.
So we had thought this would be hilarious. Where Lane, you hear a knock on the door, and he opens the closet. The camera pans over, and you see he comes out of the closet. Knock, knock. Who's there? It's Honesty. And then he comes out, and he walks by the bathroom. Like he doesn't mention it. You know, he's just walking by, looking at the camera, and I'm still there behind him on the toilet.
The door's
And
still
then-
open.
Even funnier is he keeps walking, stands in front of a mirror, and you see Kyle holding the camera. It's the greatest shot.
Yes, that's
by
one
the
thing
way-
we did purposely have Kyle in the video as the cameraman.
Everything that you see
Part of the joke was that he said,
on purpose.
I hired a professional camera crew, but they're not that professional to show up in the
And by the
video.
way, any shot that had me on the toilet in it took forever because
It probably took us about 4 hours to make those two videos
I kept laughing.
because Kevin couldn't do it.
And there's a shot where Lane goes on the toilet, and that probably took
the shot where Lane was on the toilet and Kevin had to burst in. It was like almost probably about 30 or 40-second shot that Kevin kept ruining at the very end when he would come in. He'd like open the door. And
We
be
probably
like,
did like a dozen takes.
At least with my parts, I didn't have to like look at you. You had to like totally see me right there.
on the toilet.
Man, what a funny video. Inspired by a real-life hotel. That shall remain unnamed. We did our best to cover up all the logos that they had put around.
I know.
Although, if you've ever stayed in one of their hotels, you might know.
What happened was there was, the logo on the door, the front door with the fire escape, all that information. And so what I did was I took a piece of paper that I think also had their name on it and folded it over so that it would rest on top of that thing and cover it.
We had to, I think, hide the pens. And
You never realize how many names are on stuff until you start looking around, and then
So you have to get rid of all of
yeah.
them.
And by the way, we were in a hotel, okay? We were somewhere else. This wasn't for some movie making thing. We were on a vacation together.
But we
decided
we had a day off and we decided that we should probably make a movie.
Yeah. We were thinking of you even on our vacations. We had a great vacation. Are we going to tell you about it? I don't know.
No,
It's
okay.
unrelated.
Not interesting.
Although Lane had a great, he got embarrassed on his birthday.
Kyle, when you tease that, now I don't know, you're setting people up for something that they're not going to get. But you know what you did get is another great live action video, Jack of Cards.
Yep, that's the one that was our big summer.
We
Summer,
always
as in
do.
we filmed it in the summer.
We always do a big summer movie at the beach, whether or not you realize this. And this one was like, okay, so we filmed all of it except for the announcer stuff right there over like 3 days, right?
Yeah.
And we had so much filming to do. We filmed, I think, 4 videos there, right? One of which still has to come out. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
no.
your fault.
For once, Kevin is the one who had.
It did, except
It's like
one.
it's not even a minute long,
Okay.
and Kevin
It's
can't
done.
finish it.
It's done.
There's another one though you have to do.
I know. So anyway, we filmed a whole lot, and there was so much to do that we were so burnt out by the time we were done. I was thinking that I'm not going to be ready to go there again next summer and do it again. But now that it's almost time, like I'm finally ready. If you'd asked me, even at like Christmas time, would have been like, I'm still not ready for this. But I'm getting ready now, and we know kind of what we're going to do for this summer.
Although we're trying to.
Don't say it.
Whenever I say that, I don't want to like jinx it, because whenever I say, let's just say, when we try and make a video concise, it ends up getting blown out of proportions and not being concise. So we do want to try and make an effort to have it be more concise.
Yeah, I don't want to have to do as much filming this time around because last year there was, we love making movies and it's so fun and the production aspect of all of it. But there was a lot. Like you see that movie, it's like 20 minutes in 3 days.
Now, yeah, let's talk more about this. So, Kyle, you came up with this idea.
Did I?
I'm pretty darn sure you wrote the treatment.
Well, yeah, over the last couple of years, we've been playing a lot of cards, and we wanted to do
Actually, you know what? When we were filming the one before it was Detective Awesome, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You had taught us Rummy, and Kevin came up with the idea while we were filming that last one that next year it should be a card one. And so as time came around to do it, I thought it would be hilarious if we had a professional Go Fish league, and that it's a, what was it? Something official.
Go Fish
Masters League, which is Go FML.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone caught that or not.
The best part was the announcers. Sorry, Lane. And oh man, we did all the announcers in one session pretty much, and it was so much fun. There was one period where Kyle and I were like tears streaming. We were laughing so hard, and Lane was like,
Lane was having no fun.
We were like laughing for 5 minutes straight. We came up with the most hilarious thing. Lane cut it out of the movie.
That's the most I've ever
We were
been
having so much fun.
disappointed.
One of my favorite lines from that was, the announcer's session was when Kyle started saying something, and then he was saying, now they're getting some refreshments. And when he said refreshments, I went, refreshments! I said it to...
I kept that in.
I know. The characters that we created there were so great. And what's the outtakes for those?
The outtake, you'll see the line that we couldn't get that was just so funny, and Lane cut it out. We finally got it, and Lane cut it out.
Well, I have to say, this was all in front of the green screen, and you were just totally riffing and you were cracking up. You're having a jolly old time. One of the reasons I was sort of, I don't want to say frustrated.
You didn't get to partake in the fun.
It's just because I know you're coming up with all this stuff, but we don't really need a whole lot.
By the way, I'm gonna jump back a little bit because I was talking about how we were like our eyes were filled with water because we were laughing so hard during the recording session for Marlin episode 100, and I was filming this, so I have it. Kyle and I had kind of worked the line together, and when he said it, he was recording it, I was filming it. He cracked up. I had already started cracking up. I stopped recording, and I laughed for like 2 minutes straight.
Was that the closest you've ever come to dying?
I almost died because I was laughing so hard. There's this one moment in episode 100.
Although
I thought I was going to make it all the way through the line, and then I said it, and I got to like the next couple of words, and I was like, I have to laugh.
Well,
so I let it
so
out.
If it's the one I'm thinking about, from my perspective, I don't think people are going to know what it is because it's just so pedestrian and just so random. But I guess I don't know.
We had a good time doing it. Yeah, I don't think you're probably not going to know what it is. But Kevin has the video. He can post it online after the episode comes out.
Man. It has to do with pronunciation. That's all I'll say.
So back to Jack of Cards. So we did this, and I thought it was the best summer movie that we've done.
It took a little while to edit, and that's not because Lane's slow. He is slow, but he also has other stuff to do, Marlin and whatnot. But I will say, when we finally saw it,
I was surprised by how good it was.
Not only about how good it was, and I don't like, but I also do like to toot my own horn. I think my acting was actually very, very good.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw the final version. I was really surprised by everybody's acting. And I know I've said this to Lane, I haven't said it publicly. I was really surprised by Lane's editing in a good way. I thought, especially the second half of it.
You are a really good editor.
It was some of the best editing I've ever seen. And I know that I wouldn't have ever come up with it. What Lane does that really helps is he adds sort of jokes and comedy elements through editing that we didn't do during production.
Here's one of my favorite moments.
He makes me laugh with his editing.
And Lane was also very good at acting. And he was very dedicated. He shaved this.
The thing is, because of the lighting, you don't really see that much. And it's just so quick.
The pictures of it.
Anyway, one of my favorite moments was when we had come up with the whole idea for the movie. Towards the end, there was supposed to be a fight scene between me and Lane. And Kyle wanted to do this big, long fight scene.
That's great. By Breaking Bad.
That's great. I did not want to do that. So I said, I don't want to do a fight scene. Let's have me throw a punch, miss, and Lane repeatedly kick me in the balls. And that's
punching in the balls.
Yeah. And that was the entire fight scene. And we did it. It turned out so funny.
What it was, oh my God, it was so fun. And I was filming it, and I was having such a great time. What happened, for those of you that haven't seen it in a while,
or at all.
Yeah, what happened is Kevin tries to like throw a punch, he misses, or he knocks you down or something.
So the joke is I don't land any hits, Lane, and I only get hurt.
Lane smashes Kevin's head into the table, throws him onto the couch, and just punches him in the balls so many times, and then rolls him onto the floor and keeps kicking him in the balls, and Kevin's just sitting there like...
By the way, there's a running gag throughout the video that my character, Magellan, is always munching on bell peppers of all different colors. We got red, we're talking red, yellow, orange, and green, right? So throughout different occasions, I'm munching on a bell pepper.
And all of those sounds were recorded. Some of them were like switched around, but they were all the real bell peppers that we had on set.
And just biting it, it's such a funny, perfectly crunchy sound. It's very hard not to laugh during the middle of the take. And there was one, I think it was the one where at the end, when I have been kicked in the balls too much, I'm laying down there. At the end, I take a bite of a bell pepper randomly, right? And then in the outtakes, you can see when I take my hand away, my mouth is filled with seeds. And I just go, ew. And it was so funny. It is so gross. I took a bite in the wrong area, and it was seeds everywhere.
I also like the end of that movie where Kevin goes, "You can say that again," and then you see his face and he goes, "My balls hurt."
Oh, what a great movie.
We're so funny.
And our next one's going to be good. You know how we were talking earlier about how I'm so brave and dedicated?
Yeah.
Just wait till you see this next one.
Yeah.
I can't believe
it's going to be riffage on popular culture.
I can't believe that I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But I'm going to do it.
Lane had all the dedication last year. Now it's Kevin's turn.
Okay. Now, maybe on a similar line to card, there was another sort of card-oriented video that came out. I'm not sure. We don't want to, I think, talk about it too much just because it's short. But it's a little sort of just like fake card segment. Yeah. So
this was all Lane, by the way, written and directed by.
Yeah. So that's another video. It's you two are like showing how to like shuffle cards and do stuff, and then I have a segment in it which is a commercial. So the thing
I guess it sort of takes place in the universe.
It's weird. It takes place in the same universe because I'm the same character from it. But Kevin, you're a different character, but you have the same voice
and the same costume.
Is it the same costume?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so
I had so much fun.
A little
with
weird.
Video.
I sort of didn't realize that until after we did it. But
what I did with the video is I purposefully screwed up. So I said, I don't remember what they were, but I memorized my screw-ups before I did them.
Kyle, I'm telling you, that's what made the video.
I know, it's so good. I was standing next to him, and because we were doing it live, we were in a studio doing it, which is why it looks so much different than all of
it.
That's why it looks professional.
I know, and then
hold on, I'm just saying that when he was doing his mess ups, and I had to stand there next to him, and because it was live, I couldn't laugh. That was hard.
And then, people in the studio before we did it were like, all right, mic level, so go through your lines, and I would say them, and everyone else would be cracking up in the studio.
Not like we hired a big crew.
No, it was like a school project thing.
Can we say that?
Yeah,
it was part of a class, and
it was Lane's class that he had us come in as
for a project for his class. And by the way, you'll see another similar video coming soon that's in the same studio, the same style, and this was my project for my class.
Yeah.
Also with a recurring character.
It takes place in the same universe as one of our older videos that we did in the summer at the beach.
So, I think you're gonna like it.
Now, is there any other videos that we want to talk about? I mean, we've come out with Marlin episodes. Do we want to talk about any of those?
Can I see a list of them? Because I won't remember what they were.
Yeah, well, I'll bring it up.
Here's something I'll say is that with every Corey Von Sexy appearance, we try to make it bigger every time. Like, we try to make his plans bigger. And so it was episode 98, right? Or 99? I forget. That, what was it, 98 or 99?
99.
99, okay. With episode 99, that's a pretty big episode. We wanted this to be a special Corey episode. So I decided that he would try to, instead of trying to kill Marlin as he usually does, he would try to basically end the world and become a space pirate for the rest of his life.
No.
You can't get any bigger than that.
Wait, sorry, Kevin. So I had originally envisioned episode 100 being like a big Corey thing. But then I forget which one of you.
I think it was me.
Yeah, you had the idea to do it episode 99 instead.
The reason being was that I think that I don't want to have, because it was kind of the end of the story that we've been building up to with the mayor from the pit. So what I didn't want to do is have our big special episode 100 be continuing an old story that we just started doing a couple seasons ago. Yeah. I wanted to end before so that episode 100 can be its own separate special thing.
If people who watch the show casually, if they want to click on episode 100, that they can follow along.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good idea.
Now continue. What were you going to say?
I was going to say episode, I believe 97, Battlegrounds, was one that I've wanted to do for a long time.
Years.
When we saw this map, Highlands.
Yeah.
I thought, what a perfect spot for a SWAT team base.
That map came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So we wanted to use that.
We wanted
to use it actually for the very idea for that episode. What it ended up being, that was how we wanted to use it 3 years ago, and we just never Like, we always had another better idea we would rather do instead, and then we finally got to do it this season, and it was really exciting.
This map is such a great like swab team base. Let's have aliens attack. Now this is a great time to do it because we've already introduced these alien characters.
And we also got to introduce Private Parts.
Private Parts, so great, ripe for making fun of, and the jokes that we did.
Can I just give a big round of applause to Lane for he always likes to keep the show family friendly, and Kevin and I are always trying to push the boundaries of what he let us do with inappropriate jokes and Private Parts. He let us do some Private Parts.
There were some really funny jokes that Lane had to cut, but there are some that I was very surprised that he let us keep in. I think one of them was the discharge joke.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's what made it to me acceptable, because we started off the series. We don't really swear, or if we do, it's like bleeped out.
Yeah. Or it's like, damn it, it's not that bad.
Yeah, so we want to keep that, and like you said, you're trying to push what I'll accept
in terms of inappropriate jokes, not swear words.
Yeah. Where I felt like it was comfortable with this is that I feel like so much of it is just under the radar, and
unintentional too.
In terms
for
of
the characters,
in terms of if you realize it, and if you're like paying attention and take everything
literally,
like
as the characters meant it.
I can't believe that way back in the computer store episode that Lane let us have computers called the TI-75 and the A55B00.
Now,
again, that's under the radar. I think you may have cracked the code.
There is one line in that episode that was improv while we were recording it, and that was Jimbo Jamboon. Can I say the line?
I don't know what
I'll say it. It's in the video, so I'll say it. It's Private Parts mentions a joke, and he's like, I was joking or whatever, I don't remember, and then Jimbo Jamboon says, what's a joke, dick? And see, what the joke was that I had to call him something, I didn't know what, so while we were recording it, I just said that thinking Lane's gonna say, no way, I just said it just to be funny, right? Because that's something that Lane would definitely cut. But Lane was laughing so hard, and if Lane laughs really, really hard, he's gonna keep it in. So we were able to keep it in because I explained later, well, that was his name, right? That he didn't know.
Also, one of my favorite jokes from that episode was that the alarm is a fart sound, and that also the guy who did it was Chloe.
A reference to 24.
Yeah,
damn it, Chloe. And by the way,
the guy in charge said, damn it, Chloe.
That whole episode was great. My favorite moment in the whole episode was when the huge alien leader, named, by the way, Biddy Dial Consequalio. What a horrendous name. I came up with that. That name is so out of left field. It's hilarious.
By the way, if it's like a weird name, chances are you've come up with it.
Yeah.
Or Kyle.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Anyway, when he comes on the TV for the first time and gives them their demands about Dennis Quaid, and they say, we can't meet your demands, and
we can't meet your demands.
The way Lane edited it is, they say, we can't meet your demands, and then he just fades away, so the line had to be really quick, and it was supposed to be something along the lines of prepare to die, right? But that's too easy, so what we came up with was fine, prepare to be dead. I just think the wording for that, because it's something you never hear, prepare to be dead. I love it. And the way it turned out is hilarious because he fades away.
By the way,
that's one baseball movie. Starring Dennis Quaid.
By the way, when we were making this episode, I think the whole thing is that we just picked some obscure actor.
I think it was just Dennis Quaid because
we just pull it out of the hat. Now, not a couple days after this episode was released, Dennis Quaid had his big fake or not, whatever, meltdown.
Did you end up seeing the whole video? It was a Funny or Die thing.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it, but there's been accusations that it was a clever cover-up.
Well, no. It wasn't. Anyway.
I don't know. And anyway, so it was very timely that, I don't know, this actor that's, he's big, but he's sort of under the
He's
radar.
such a random actor to choose, and then he ends up making headlines a couple of days
That was
after
great.
the episode.
Now I
comes
want to
out.
say the episode
What was 98?
was it the one in the bunker?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because that one we had come over to film it, when we recorded, and we had something totally different planned, or Lane did. And really what we're going to do.
We weren't feeling it.
So that day, we came up with the entire plot. Now, the idea of hiding under a bunker was something that I'd come up with.
For a storm.
Yeah, for a storm.
Like,
a year
it was for the
or
last
so
season, I think.
ago, I'd come up with this idea, but we could never really think of exactly what to use it for. So when we came over to record this, we were like, I'm not so liking this idea. What else do we have? Now, we always have a list of ideas actually written down on the computer, just in case. So we looked through our list, and we found this one, and we were like, oh yeah, we kind of like this one, but we never think of something. So we came up with something on the spot and filmed it, and I think it turned out really, really good.
Yeah, I think because you come up with that storm idea, and for me, it's like we need something more to happen.
There was a lot of promise as a premise. That was hard to say, but we couldn't think of anything else that would happen inside the bunker.
I must say it is a great example of.
If I turn the light on, would it look better or worse?
You could try. I have to say it's a great example of the collaboration process because Kevin came up with the idea.
Turn the fan up just a little bit more. Also.
I'm not sure if that'll make too much noise. You could try it.
Wait,
just one notch.
Yeah, I think the light's a little too high.
We're dealing with airflow logistics here.
No, other way.
Yeah, so Kevin came up with the whole sort of premise for the episode. Kyle, you came up with the idea for the Twitter social media obsessed guy
God.
in the bunker, and then I came up with the idea of the house flying away.
And of course, I will use any opportunity to sneak Jerry into an episode. I love Jerry. Kyle hates him. Anyway, Kyle's Twitter obsessed guy, he had one line. The way Kyle improv'd it while recording it. He started the line and came up with this. And the way he recorded it makes me laugh every time it was on there. You're all mindless Illuminati soldiers of the Slender Man.
Yeah.
It makes
and
me
then
laugh
also,
every time.
I think I also improv the line about where Cotton Swab said something about his sandy butt crack.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
remember exactly.
Lane had one line, and you recorded it just to please Lane, and then you're like, but let me do this too. A beat or whatever.
Yeah.
The only place I'll welcome is sandy butt crack. And it turned out to be much better than whatever Lane's line.
It's not funny.
See, we always, when recording a line, we will always try
We challenge each other
to make it funnier.
Uh-huh.
Which is why our show is so great.
Mm-hmm.
That's our secret. Make everything funny.
Except for this show. This is incredibly boring. Hopefully not, but
I
you never know.
think people who are fans of us would love these podcasts because we let them in on
Because we do them so rarely.
because we let them in on some behind the scenes stories that they would otherwise not know about that I find interesting or funny. So they know how we came up with something.
Now, is there any other video that we want to talk about?
Let's go through. Leon Barnes.
No, we haven't done the new ones, but we've talked about the series. Just sort of, yeah. In terms of Marlin,
I don't know if we got to say this last time, maybe we did, but that was the first video I ever directed for Thomas Productions was Leon Barnes. And I had fun doing it, and Lane liked having the break, and I would like to do it again. But the opportunity didn't come up. But maybe it will. That is all.
Do you see anything here that we want to talk about more? Otherwise, I think we'll just
Can you go up a little?
Move on.
I hadn't seen everything.
we're looking at a list of our videos here.
Oh, Gramps Gone Wild. Con and I made a song for that. So, if you remember a few seasons ago, it was Get a Clue, I think. This episode where we had this parody metal band called I Hope We All Die with a song that is making fun of
goth emo.
Goth emo type, lyrics. The music sounds like, that kind of music. But the lyrics, if you really pay attention to them, they are hilarious.
They both don't make sense and are funny.
And so we had finally come up with another one. We didn't know where we were going to put it in, but I came up with another song that rivaled the first one. The lyrics are so funny. And so we sent it to Lane, and he liked it enough that he agreed that we'll do it again. And so, but we needed a place to fit it in.
Well, what happened was we recorded the song and sat on it for a few episodes because we had the song, but we didn't have a place to put it. So we came up with this episode where we could sneak it in.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. We've done sort of multiple band-oriented episodes. So it's sort of been my thing where we can't have that be the focus of another episode because we've already done that multiple times. So the trick was to incorporate it
into a scene in it.
And I suggested, and Lane fell in love with this, that maybe I shouldn't say this, that we reuse the footage from the other episode.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't even have to film it again. Lane just has to take the footage.
If you notice, there's just a few shots of the band in the Gramps Gone Wild
you
episode.
may recognize it.
And what I really like is Lane came up with this hilarious line. I don't think I was even there. I think YouTube recorded it without me, where Lane said, "Why are we standing?" And Kevin and I have gone to a couple of concerts since then, and we turn to each other and say that during the show. You came up with an inside joke for us, Lane. Yeah. When we're at the show, we're like up at the front, and I go, "Why am I standing?"
My general rule for a Marlin episode is any episode with Marlin's grandparents in it will instantly up the episode to new heights.
Elevate.
Yes.
All right.
Marlin's grandparents are so funny.
They're ripe for comedy.
I know.
Do you think that's enough talking about videos?
Probably.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. We've done all that. But now, it's time. I mean, the whole podcast is called the 9th Annual Thomas Productions Movie Awards. Not that we haven't been vain enough, but it's time
I
to...
forgot that we had to do this.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing it.
This, I guess, this is obviously the 9th one, but we put a survey up every year for people to like vote on what videos and stuff that they like the most, and sometimes what elements of videos they like the most. So here we have the results of those, and these are all videos from the past year. So without further ado, let's rifle through these. Would you like fanfare with this or not?
What's your fanfare?
Just drum rolls and, dramatic pauses.
I don't really like keeping people in suspense, especially when it's me.
Okay, I'll just be
so
boring.
Let's not do that.
Okay, best stunts. We had professional courtesy. We are all burglars.
We talked about that one last year.
Did we?
I'm pretty sure we...
Yeah, because I remember telling the story about how cool it was to see us in like a theater environment.
Okay, yeah. So then forget about that. We have professional courtesy and Jack of Cards. Again, this is for best stunts. Of course, Kevin getting hit in the balls in Jack of Cards. So naturally, that won.
It really hurt. I took one for the team. It's over and over. It's so many takes.
Now, best visual effects. Now, all these are for Marlin episodes. There's episode 92, The Masquerade, episode 95, Rescue Party, and 97, Battlegrounds. And these were all semi... I guess some were more obvious than others, but I think all of them were like green screen oriented. We used the green screen in Halo 4, and we built a fake alien spaceship, and then I put that in for the aliens.
When I was in Reach, that's pretty cool.
And you had to get it so it was spinning.
Yeah, so we rotated the camera around, and Yeah, once it was added in, it looked great. Anyway, that one, episode 97, Battleground. So
Nice.
all my hard work on that paid off.
But it didn't pay off for all the other episodes that lost.
Yeah, I learned my lesson there. Okay, best cinematography. We have Professional Courtesy, Jack of Cards, and Marlin episode 97, Battleground. Jack of Cards and Battleground tied. So, that's good. Put a lot of work into Battlegrounds. That fight scene, that battle, was a lot of work. So, thanks for that. Best music editing. We had episode 95, The Rescue Party from Marlin the Elite. We had Jack of Cards, and then episode 97, Battleground. Rescue Party ended up winning. Just so happened that was the first Marlin episode in a while that had a brand new song for me. So I like to use, because I have to do so much editing and stuff, I like to reuse music whenever possible.
I'm struggling to remember what episode that was. I know that makes me sound like an idiot, but
That's where they went into the pit and ousted the mayor. Okay, best sound editing. You have 2 Marlin episodes, 89 Land of Tomorrow and 97 Battleground, and then Jack of Cards. And Battleground won.
Oh, people really like that episode.
Yes.
It's a
And
good one.
I'm happy that that's the case. Best editing. We had Professional Courtesy. We had Elaine Barnes, Doo-Doo Dynasty.
This is best editing.
Best editing.
Okay.
Doo-Doo Dynasty, by the way, written by Kevin. Me,
The only Leon Barnes written by Kevin.
the only ones that I wrote.
Then we have Jack of Cards and Marlin 97 Battleground. Well, Battleground won. Yet again. So, best song. Sometimes we do like music videos and stuff like that. We didn't really do a lot of that this year, so this one was a kind of just meh category. We only had really one, and that was the metal song, Succulent Beginnings of the End of Decay.
That was the I Hope We All Die song, by the way. Lead vocals recorded by me, other stuff added in with these two. Turned out really great, by the way. We should put that song up just by itself.
And then the other one we had was King of Cards, which really, it was the montage music, pretty much, from the Jack of Cards movie, made by Kyle. And the winner only got the victory by 1 vote, but it was King of Cards. Kyle.
Hey, I wrote both songs pretty much, so. But I mean, hey, that makes me feel good.
Now we have the best new Marlin episode.
Let me guess. 97.
Hey, you'll see. We have nominations were episode 88, Warm Reception. That was the one without you guys, so I bet that one.
I hope it didn't win.
89, Land of Tomorrow. That was a good
I
one.
love that episode. It's so funny.
Of course, featuring me. Episode 91, The Enemy.
Hold on, can I just say about Land of Tomorrow? That was the one with some live action of Lane, Land Thomas. I believe I came up with that.
Yeah.
Very rarely
yeah.
do live action, but Elaine didn't even want to do it.
Yeah,
for this
but
episode of
I think
Marlin.
it was when I said, let's have you be in it and your name be Land Thomas. That was one of those moments where
It just
it's
pushed it
so
over
funny.
the edge.
It
we were
has to go.
all laughing too hard, and Lane was like, "Well, I guess we have to do it."
One of our deleted lines was where he speaks about the future and he says, "Years later, I will kill myself."
That's
So that had to
That crossed
that had
the
to
line.
go out.
yeah, bit dark.
But the best part is when it goes mute and he goes,
Saturday,
yeah,
right.
robot voice, Saturday.
I'm proud to announce that someday Land will open its doors on.
And the names of the areas are so great because that's not what you would expect.
It's yesterday Land, today Land, and Sunday Land, not tomorrow. Speaking of Tomorrowland, I didn't see it, but I know it sucks. I don't have to see it. to
Did you
know
see it, Lane? It
sucks.
has animation in it.
No, I didn't see it. But let's continue on here. We have more Marlin episodes.
Well, no, I mean,
91, The Enemy, that was going back to the pit. We have 95, Rescue Party, and leaving the pit. And 97, Battleground. the winner is Land of Tomorrow. People like that new episode the best.
I think that episode is so funny. It's like, check 1, check. Check 2, check. Check 3, check.
Now.
Check 4, check. Check 5.
And the selfie station.
Okay, jumping to best live action short. We have Professional Courtesy. 2 Leon Barneses, the cold-blooded cover-up in Doo Doo Dynasty. And then, Kevin, you made a movie, Who's to Say?
My annual Christmas movie.
And Card Talk.
That was the one that we were talking about earlier where I memorized all my screw-ups.
Well, Kevin, you got the victory.
Who's
for
to
that.
say?
Yeah.
Wow.
Based on a real event that I can't even remember now.
And, Kevin, congratulations. And, who's to say you won't win next year?
Who's to say? What a great stupid movie. We were laughing so hard when we were filming that. Lane closing the door going.
Best voice actor. No, okay. We have... The thing with this one is that I sort of just chose what I think the most interesting and best voices are from the ER. I try not to choose standby ones.
I don't know what you mean by that, but okay.
Kyle, remember in episode 92 of Marlin when you played Obwob Crabadoo?
That was Masquerade.
Yeah. And Kevin, remember...
Now, hold on, real quick. Obwob Crabadoo is a name I came up with probably when I was in middle school, when we were still in the first season.
There was
of
one
Marlin.
night when Kyle and I stayed up all night coming up with hilarious names. Among them, Obwob Crabadoo and what was mine? Hippogogestifer. Hippogogestima. I don't even remember.
Something about upwards goat. Transmuse.
Yeah, upwards goat transmuse. One, I don't remember if we used it or not, but Shax 2 Nangus. You came up with that one. I love that one. Shax 2.
The number 2.
Mangus.
Anyway, Kevin, remember in episode 94, Shady Business, when you were Don Maglioli?
The mob boss.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's for you. And Elaine, remember in episode 97, Battleground, when you played Private Parts? Yes, I do. Well, I won. So there's that.
Right. Lane played that character really well. No, don't say it. Oh.
Best supporting actor. We have Kyle. You were a monkey guy with a mask in Professional Courtesy. I was, of course, Butch Boogie Brooks in Jack of Cards. Kevin, you were Magellan Slater in Jack of Cards.
Magellan Slater.
Magellan M. Gellan. Anyway, Boogie won.
Boogie Sticks.
Okay.
I think that's a good choice because Lane, you were a really good actor.
Do you want to know my only memory of filming the scene where you say, when somebody flings Boogie at you, Boogie Sticks?
Is it when you crack up?
No, it was how we were so face to face and you had just had coffee. Your very intense coffee breath. Somebody flings Boogie at you. I was holding my breath. You have great breath, Lane.
Thank you. Okay, so lead actor. This is kind of a hard one because we all play pretty even roles as far as who's usually protagonist and stuff. Kyle, you were Jet King in Jack of Cards. I was the guy with the ski mask in Professional Courtesy. Sort of iffy. That was an ensemble one.
Main character because you appeared first.
And then Kevin,
Introduction.
You were yourself in your movie. Who's to say? Anyway, Kyle, you won.
Oh.
For that.
That was lead? Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Now
I'll take that.
We have some individual categories for best characters by each of us. Kevin, you had some new characters.
I love this category.
You had Magellan Slater. You had the guy with the hockey mask.
This is best new character?
Best new character for Kevin.
Best new Kevin character.
You had Ace McInerney from Card Talk. You had Magellan Slater, and you had the hockey guy mask from
Really?
Professional
No
Courtesy.
Don Maglioli.
Well, this is like live action.
Okay.
Or I'd done voices. Okay. So Magellan won. No
Nice.
surprise. Now Kyle.
Magellan would like.
Did you say
that
no
news.
surprise or big surprise?
I don't know, either one.
I think it's no surprise. I think that was really good.
If I said the other one, then it was being sarcastic. So Kyle, you wore the monkey mask in Professional Courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
You were Jack King and Jack of Cards, and Hold'em Joe from Card Talk for your monkey guy and Hold'em Joe.
Wow.
I'd say Hold'em Joe is my personal favorite.
Me too.
Probably me too.
Okay, best new lane character. I had the ski mask in Professional Courtesy. Land Thomas from a Marlin episode because that was live action part. And Butch Boogie Brooks. Of course, Boogie won. So
Boogie
I'm
would
so
like-
Sorry,
happy
what were
about
the other
that.
two nominees? I completely stopped paying attention.
Land Thomas and my burglar character.
Okay.
Now here are some sort of like yearly ones. These are just sort of let's see what happens sort of thing. Sometimes, most of the times for the Marlin episodes, it's usually sort of just a toss up. For Detective Awesome, we ask, what Detective Awesome movie do you like the most out of all the ones that have come out? So, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Detective Awesomes, people like the original and Riddle of the Realm the best.
Is it a tie?
Tie. Now, we ask people what the best Marlin episode of all time is, with a case of almost 100 episodes to go with.
It would have been 97 as at the time that they were able to vote, right? Maybe 98.
Yeah, so it's no surprise that there is no winner for that category because there's just too many options. So you can't really.
It used to always be number 18.
Yeah,
But I think that one's sort of starting to show its date.
yeah.
Still a good one.
Now, our best video of all time. Now, you would think that this would be the same, a toss-up, but it's not. I'll tell you. We had many videos nominated. We had the 24 Chocolate Days Till Christmas. It's Serial Realtor.
For best of all time, really?
Best of all time.
These are write-ins?
Yeah, these are write-ins. People could write in whatever video they wanted. Someone really liked the Truth Behind Duel of the Fates. That was our best video of all time.
Hold on.
I'm sorry you don't
I'm
not
not
make
even-
videos like that
I'm struggling
anymore.
to remember what that was.
That was where I said that the Duel of the Fates
Oh,
song.
it's Corn on the Cob.
Yeah, it was Corn on the Cob.
I still think of the song that way.
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't write
apparently
it down.
someone else does too, and they really like it. So, thanks for that. But the winner is Jack of Cards.
Wow.
People have voted that that's our best video all time.
We worked hard on it.
Now-
as we've said.
As usual, we tally up all the winners and all the categories, and whichever video won the most becomes our, quote, best picture. That was Jack of Cards. Jack of Cards received 8 wins
Wow.
this
Nice.
year.
More than 97 Battlefront?
Yeah, I think that was definitely the runner-up, which is, I don't know, it's pretty good to have a Marlin be the runner-up, because usually it's our big summer movie.
Hey, I'm glad.
So there you have it.
That's always the one that we work the most hard on. The hardest. So.
Yeah. So there you go. There is that. Now, we,
This award ceremony is always a good ego stroke.
yeah, not like the whole podcast hasn't been like
I don't
that.
like that you took out the best scream.
Well,
category.
the thing is, Kyle, because you were the shoo-in, you're the shoo-in for that. You
I know, but I
always
still
win
like
that.
getting it. I still like being told that my screen is the best.
I don't know if you're undefeated, but I feel like
I think I am.
well, then you could take solace that now that we've removed the category, you'll always be the undefeated champion of screaming through microphones. Okay, we're running a bit long, almost 2 hours here, but you know what? Since since we don't do these podcasts all that often anymore, it's okay. But we do have one more sort of segment on the podcast, and that's our review segment, where we review things from video games, TV shows, to movies that we've seen, and we tell you what we think of them.
I feel like we shouldn't do all of those things. Let's at least talk about Ex Machina.
Okay, so this movie came out in April, Ex Machina.
I don't think I even wanted to see it.
Yeah,
I think you two were gonna go, and I was like, might as well go.
Lane had I asked Lane if he wants to see Ex Machina because it has these two actors from Star Wars in it, and Lane, wants to have as spoiler-free an experience as possible. That includes
how good of an actor people are.
Now, I asked him if he wants to see this. He said, I don't think I'm going to see it, but if you want to see it with me, let me know, and we'll go. And a couple weeks later, I texted him and was like, okay, I want to see this movie. Let's go. So we went and saw it, all three of us. When we were done, we walked home from the movie theater. Nice long walk. We talked about it like the entire time. I wanted to do a podcast like the next day because I feel like I could dissect that movie.
It was a movie I wish I wrote.
Hours.
I wish I wrote it. I wish I was a part of it. It was so good. It's
so smart.
The best movie I've seen all year. And I've seen some other movies since, and I still think that.
The acting was really good.
It was only like three characters, which is cool.
It went like by pretty fast, too.
Yeah. It was definitely such a cool movie, and if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. I cannot recommend it enough. I told people, like at my job, go see it, and they eventually did because I told them to.
Yeah, it was definitely the best science fiction movie I've seen in a long time. I'd say it tops Interstellar.
One of the reasons I didn't want to see it is because some of the trailers were sort of presenting it as almost like a horror movie, which I don't like, but it was not like that at all.
It was a thriller.
See, or like a thriller, psychological thriller.
I love psychological thrillers, like Gone Girl. If we had some time to review Gone Girl, I love that movie. I read the book in like 2 weeks. Okay, I don't read very often. I'm kind of a slow reader. That was actually pretty fast for me to read that.
He would like only read it like on the bus.
And other times when I have free time, because I was really enjoying it. And the movie I saw the day it came out, so good. They did such a good job. But we don't have to talk about that. But go see Gone Girl if you haven't seen it. By the way, coming to HBO now.
So we never gave scores for Ex Machina.
Ex Machina, I give it
a 9.
Yeah,
9 out of 10.
I would give it, I want to say 10 out of 10 because it was so good. There were just a few, not like flaws with it, but just things that they could have.
Like I think we all agreed that the ending scene, or that it could have ended a few minutes earlier. It would have been a nice spot.
They had sort of like a, what's it called? The sort of thing, not like a.
It's sort of like a build-up where everything's coming to a head.
It's sort of like they had an epilogue before the credits, which is sort of unnecessary.
Would have been interesting if it was after the credits. The movie ended in that spot where he said it should end, and they have the credits. Then that.
I think much better.
The point of the final scene, I think, I sort of understood it more than you do, was that they were showing. I'm going to try and keep the spoiler free. They were showing something that they said could happen in the movie, and then it sort of did at the end. Anyway, it had a couple flaws, nothing that's gonna ruin the movie for you. Ruined it for me, so I'm gonna give it a 9.9. I loved it. It was so good.
Okay, unlike Kevin, what rate you were like 10 stars and
I said 9 out of 10.
Okay, I use the 5-star system,
which is stupid because if you give it 3 stars, that's a 60%, which in school terms is a D-.
I have a really hard time giving rating movies because a lot of them I see are usually it's ones that I don't like are not for. They're often not for a lack of quality filmmaking, but often it's ones where I just not feeling the vibe of the movie or don't really care too much for it. So I feel bad when I don't give movies a good score. However, for this one,
I feel bad about it.
Despite sort of that little ending gripe. It
didn't ruin the movie, by the way.
It's so rare, I think, for me to like a movie as much as I did with this one. I have to give it 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah,
it's
a really cool movie, and it at times it's predictable, and you know it's going to happen, or you see something and you say that's going to end up this way, and it does. But it doesn't ruin the movie at all. There's still lots of
there was
surprises.
stuff that surprised me. There was stuff that I thought was going to happen. I was like, oh, I definitely see this coming. And then it didn't. Or they changed it in some way. And one of the reasons I thought it was so cool is because it's basically 3 characters. And that's how we make movies. And every time we do one, I'm like, oh, I wish we had like more actors because I keep thinking of more ideas for what more characters could be. So it was cool to see a professional, almost blockbuster-ish movie that is sort of made the way that we do it.
And what was really great about it is it just starts. There was no long overdone Act 1. It instantly gets into what it's supposed to be doing.
It almost basically started with Act 2, where, you know, they don't get you, they don't tell you what the characters
are
like.
They give you exactly as much as you need, and no more.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
It just started. Why couldn't it have just ended?
Yeah.
Other than that, so good.
Yeah. And I think it's about 2 hours long, but it felt really condensed. You know, like what you said about Nightcrawler.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you.
But
it was like 2 hours, but everything flows so well.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler, another pretty good movie.
Yeah. Nightcrawler, again, this is a case where
Jake Gyllenhaal very good in that movie.
Where I give it a lower rating than Ex Machina, but not for a lack of filmmaking, just because
it wasn't as good.
I didn't like the vibe as more. I'm more of like a thriller type.
It was
person.
easy to follow. Yeah. That was cool. Ex Machina was also easy to follow.
Now, any other movies that we have? I haven't seen Jurassic World, so I can't really say anything about that.
Either.
I did see Mad Max.
Oh, we saw the Avengers too.
You can talk about Mad Max. I haven't seen that.
Oh, Mad Max, you got to. We saw it in 3D.
It was
very cool.
The reason I don't like seeing 3D movies is because the glasses are uncomfortable
and they're more expensive.
The glasses, they've
improved 3D a lot,
but the glasses they have not improved because they don't sit as high up, and it's just uncomfortable for me anyway. But the movie itself was cool. The trailer made it look like it was almost entirely on vehicles, and I was surprised when it was. there was a beginning part where they tell you, they get used to the story.
There's a clear story.
Yeah, they tell you what's sort of why they're getting on these vehicles, and then the rest of the movie is sort of.
It's a very popcorn guzzling, blah, 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 which is exactly what it needed to be.
Oh, yeah, and it was
really good. And I like Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy was good. It had some really cool special effects that most of them were practical. They had the main character who was not Mad Max
Furiosa
had a missing arm, which that was all computer generated, but everything else, like explosions, all the vehicles were all real.
Even you see in the trailer those people on those cat poles, which is what they call it in the movie, they're swinging around. That was all real.
They had some weather effects, I'm sure.
The vehicles, the guy with the guitar that spits flame, that was real. Everything was real. I read an interview where they said
it was a double neck flamethrower.
Everything was real. They only used animation to enhance, never to add anything. And something, fun fact about this movie, you'll find this interesting, even though you didn't read it. Or you didn't see it. You know how movies, when they're on a production schedule, the studios like to know, okay, how many pages of the script did you film today, so they can see if they're on schedule. There was no script for this movie. Everything was done in storyboards.
Wow.
So because there's not a lot of dialogue or lots of story. I mean, there is a story, but there's not. It's not really good for a script. It was all done in storyboards. So they couldn't tell the studio how many pages did you film today. They were keeping track of how many pictures did you get through. So they couldn't communicate very well.
So they didn't.
And they filmed the movie in 2012, 3 years ago, and it only came out now.
Mm-hmm. So they didn't have a script?
No.
I didn't know that.
It was all...
Very few movies don't have scripts, but it's not unheard of.
We don't have scripts. But yeah, it was all storyboards.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. The more you know.
And everything I've heard is that this movie shouldn't have been made. It's like, 30 years since the last one. It's not even the same actor. He's not even the main character. He barely speaks. There's no script. The last movie that this guy directed, live action, was Babe, Pig in the City.
Did he direct the first Babe?
No,
Oh,
I don't think so.
Because if he did, I mean, Babe's a good movie.
He had total control over everything. There was no reason this movie should have been made, but it did get made, and he made like one of the best movies.
Can I say something about Ex Machina real quick? I think the way they released it was genius, even though it doesn't sound like it. What they did was they had it come out right when the Avengers was coming out, which sounds on paper like a horrible idea, but it did really well for the people who, because like for the Avengers, you have to have seen all the like 9 movies that came out before it. So for the people who want to see a big summer movie and don't follow all that Marvel stuff, they can go see Ex Machina, and it did really well for like a science fiction sort of like blockbuster.
I feel like it was also a word of mouth movie,
and it reminded all 3 of us, I think, of Black Mirror, which is a British show, sort of about the way that technology is taking over our lives, and it presents it in a way that really makes you think.
If you have Netflix,
And so did
check out
Ex
Black
Machina.
Mirror.
Yeah, so I got Black Mirror. Really cool.
Right, Lane?
It's one of the only British shows I can stand to watch because I like their accent, but I don't like watching a whole movie or television show.
So you'll be seeing
It depends on the accent, because sometimes some British accents are more annoying than others. Like, I can watch James Bond because that's not an annoying accent. Like where is it, London or something? I don't know. I'm not well versed in British geography, but that accent isn't annoying.
Okay, any other movies? No. Avengers.
Avengers.
It was okay.
It was good.
I heard it wasn't good, so I went into it with low expectations, and I liked it, which seems to always happen. If you go in with low expectations, you're gonna like a movie.
Okay, now games.
All right.
So Kevin, you played this Assassin's Creed game that came out
Yes.
last year.
The way I do Assassin's Creed is I don't get it when it comes out. I get it in the summer, and that's perfect because when I play it in the summer when I have nothing else to do, so I play this game, and that's also right around the time where they really start showing off the next one. So I get all into Assassin's Creed, and then I can look at all these videos that are coming out right now of what the next one's going to look like. So it's really awesome. So I just played Unity. Now I remember when this came out, this is the one set in France, by the way, that at launch it was terribly buggy, and it was so buggy and bad that they released their huge DLC expansion for free, and anyone who got the season pass got to pick a free game from Ubisoft, and they'll get that game like from a list, right? So I went into it expecting to come across some bugs. Now I only really got 2, and let me explain, because they were not game ruining at all. The first one was, as soon as I popped in the game, it starts with a cutscene, and the dialogue was out of sync, and that was it. And the only other thing I saw was there are sometimes, there are massive crowds, and each person is individual. And there are some times when people will just pop in, right? That was it. There were no game-breaking bugs.
So what you're saying is they fixed it.
They fixed everything.
By the time you got to it.
Yeah.
He never tried to play with anybody else.
I did, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it.
And it was kind of cool. So
was that the
you
same
can
sort of thing as, oh my god, I'm playing with someone else?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So played through the whole game. It works totally perfectly. I really like that they're kind of bringing it back now to the regular, the European type setting where it's tall buildings everywhere, so you can get anywhere you want to just from climbing. Assassin's Creed to me is climbing buildings and running around rooftops and jumping off into barrels of hay, which, they always do. I loved Black Flag, really bunch of tall buildings to jump off of. The Black Flag was really good. You played it, right?
Yeah.
And then 3, in the only one in America, has to be the worst game of them all so far. I haven't played the first one.
It's the tallest building.
But I like that, and now even the next one, Syndicate, they're bringing it back to these European tall buildings. Great. So, as far as gameplay goes, it feels like every Assassin's Creed game. There are some things that I think they did a lot better in Black Flag. I really wish that I could still hide behind a corner and whistle and attract people over to me, because I missed that. I also missed that when people are about to shoot at you, you can't really do anything. In Black Flag, you could take someone else and use them as a human shield. You can't do that anymore. So there's some stuff that were in Black Flag that I wish they brought over.
Not a word.
Brought over. Some stuff, also newer stuff, was good. Like when you go to the very, if you're on a rooftop and you look around, it'll now pop up with locations for you. So you don't have to go back and look at your map and see, where am I, where is this thing? It just shows you. It's kind of hard to explain when you see it. So also, because they come with a free expansion now, I played it, and I'd never played it in Assassin's Creed DLC before. This one is really cool. Lane, when you play this game, you have to play the expansion. It's a very strong DLC. And a lot of people didn't like the game. They didn't like the story or the main character, Arno. They didn't think he was fleshed out enough. I liked him as a character. He was very kind of out there, Not like he's a totally crazy person, but he's very mischievous. When the game starts, it starts with him as a little kid, but that goes away very fast. And then they put you right in. And once he's all grown up, he's a very mischievous guy.
Okay, now
Troublemaker.
One sort of question. I know they have a yearly schedule with Assassin's Creed. Obviously, at least for Call of Duty, that's definitely a bad thing, and that's a spot of criticism. Mm-hmm. Having a yearly release for Assassin's Creed franchise that you really like, has that any negatively affected you, or do you like that you have another game?
Well, I do like having a game every summer to play. It's totally different studios working on it. Or not studios, but teams, right? Mm-hmm. So there are some things that I wish, go over from every game. Like what I said with Black Flag. I wish some of those elements held over. But I think having each game be the same feel, but in a radically different style, not just place, but some of the mechanics are different. I think it's cool because some parts of it are better, some parts are worse, but overall, it's a very cohesive experience. I don't see too much. It's like, this yearly schedule is taking away from it. I think if they did do it maybe every 2 or 3 years, it could be really, really strong, like one studio working on it, but different teams. It works well. I don't see anything too bad. I think, especially with this launch, how buggy it was, they probably learned from their mistake, like 343 with Halo. I assume that from now on, everything's going to be really strong.
All right. Now, we recently went in and got a game, Elder Scrolls Online.
Yes.
We were, obviously Kevin, Mr. Bethesda man here, has been playing in sort of the Tamriel universe for a while, the Elder Scrolls universe. I was introduced to Skyrim and I was hooked. So we went in and got this game.
Back when we were playing Skyrim, we would, I would come over and watch Lane play. Lane would come over and watch me play just because it was so fun. Because I had only known Elder Scrolls through my play style. And when I came over to watch Lane, I was blown away how different he played from me. And so I'd like to watch and see what he did. And we would always say, man, I wish we could play together, join a game. And then last year, whenever they announced Elder Scrolls Online, you can play with your friends. And we were like, it's coming to consoles, Lane. We have to do this, right? And then they said, guess what? it's going to be a subscription fee every month, pay $15 or whatever it was, I don't even remember. And we're like, well, never mind. And then they announced it's coming to consoles. We're dropping the subscription fee. You can play as much as you want as long as you pay for the game. And we were like, we're doing it.
So we did.
It was a little bit buggy at launch, hard to get into the servers. My suggestion was have an offline mode where you can just go in and play by yourself and carry your game over into the servers, which they didn't do. But now that launch is over, it's much quicker to get in. You found the same.
Yeah, it really wasn't much of an issue. It was just like the first day.
Yeah, first day or two. And I have just leveled up to level 11.
Oh, I'm at level 8.
Because we can see our friends. So I've been playing a lot. Lane stopped for a while to play ODST. Or not stopped, just on and off, right?
I had to finish my run through on Legendary.
Yeah. But so far, we've only played together once. But it still blows me away to be playing Elder Scrolls and come across other real people. Because that has never happened before. It's so cool. It's really fun. It works really well. It's not the same as other games. It's made by a kind of under studio of Bethesda. It's okay. So ZeniMax Media owns Bethesda. Bethesda has Bethesda Game Studios. And now they also have created ZeniMax Online Studios. So they're within the same realm, different companies making the game. So but it's the same feel. It's Elder Scrolls, right? And it works really well. It feels like Elder Scrolls. And the fact that you can play with your friends, we didn't run into any bugs playing with each other, as far as I remember.
Well, the only thing was the voice chat. You couldn't get that to work.
Yeah. I think it was just every day since then when I've played, it says that voice chat enabled to area or whatever. So I think it was just that one day there was some problem with it. But yeah, I want to play together again. You might need to do a little bit of leveling up.
Have you been just doing the main quests?
Well, here's the thing. The way it works is every 5 levels, the prophet guy will come up to you and say, hey, we've discovered something. Come help me out with this. So that's what I just hit level 10. So I did the level 10 one.
Okay.
So what they're doing that I think is really smart is making you play their game in order to continue, which is cool because exploring is really fun.
I just recently went in and figured out the crafting for this game.
I did that too.
So I got that figured out and got my handle on that. But yeah, when I first started playing it, I had a little trouble adjusting just because I'm so used to Skyrim and the graphics of that and stuff.
The mechanics are very different because it's an MMO RPG.
Yeah, so I had a little trouble adjusting to that, but once I did, I think it's great so far.
Yeah. Having lots of fun for sure. And what's cool about it is it's basically 3 whole games in one. Because in the beginning, when you pick your character, you have to pick an alliance to start in. And each alliance is a totally different area, and you get a different main quest. So I'm thinking once I'm done with this one, I want to do another one. And maybe even eventually the other one.
All right. Is there anything else we want to review?
I'm good.
Kyle, we sort of did Elder Scrolls. Anything you want to touch on?
No, not really.
He's playing through Grand Theft Auto 5 right now.
But that's so old.
So 2014. Anyways, yeah, so is that going to wrap it up?
I think so.
For this episode? All right, well, thanks of you who have, those have tuned in live to our live podcast. And thanks for those who are listening on the recorded version.
That'll be in the future.
Think about it this way. You're listening now.
Yeah, it's the present now, but it'll be the future from right now.
All right, make a prediction. Do you think we're going to do another one before this time next year?
If I'm being completely honest, no. If I'm being optimistic, no, I don't like doing these.
Well, if anything, I might want to make it happen to prove you wrong. So
Okay.
we'll see what happens. But anyway, we're glad all the people who have tuned in and listened and stuff. And if you want to, see more from us, as usual, youtube.com/Thomas Productions. That's sort of the main area we want you to see our videos. But if you, want to see some extra stuff or see what might be coming in the future, you can check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/Thomas Productions, and our Twitter feed, twitter.com/Thomas Pro Inc.
Or Thomas Proink, as I like to say.
Thomas Proink?
Proink.
Proink.
Like how you pronounce O-I. Or Proink.
Huh.
Proink.
Okay. So, so Marlin episode 100 coming out very, very soon. By this time next week, for those of you who are live, it will be out. So, look forward to that, and stay tuned to our pages and stuff for news on future stuff. So, that just about does it. As usual, I'm Lane. That hasn't changed since we've been here. I'm still Lane.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Kevin,
And this is Dinklage.
aka a waste of money, right?
Bye.
Fascinating. This place is littered with pre-Golden Age artifacts.